What is going on here? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to another one. Today we're going to be returning back to the Does It Drift video series where we purchase them in-game, test them, and see if they frickin' drift. Alright, let's just get to it. So I just want to get right into today's episode here and see exactly what this Zion Classic is offering. It isn't, nope, not in here. It's got to be in the other one. I have yet to see how much this thing costs. Ugh, it's expensive. Okay, alright, well, let's see. I am getting low on money again. I know it's 7.5, 8 million. Alright, the spamming has to end. So while we are standing here waiting for this car to show up, maybe we should point you guys in the direction, obviously, to the video, the Welcome to Goldridge LLC video. That video fully explains how you can get the invite from us to get involved. You don't have to send me personal invites over and over and over. So, I don't know. I guess I've never tested the supercar BMW. I forget what it's called exactly. Maybe we'll test that one in the future. So this may be the first driftable BMW. Well, some people say the Sentinel Classic drifts, but they may have changed the line. It certainly didn't drift very well or drift at all when I tested it. So let's see what the Zion Classic has to offer. What kind of customizations does this bad boy got? That's my real question. GTA has been pretty good about the amount of customizations they've been giving us. Some silly stuff, but some good stuff too. Nothing really too crazy there, huh? Probably this, because it makes the side trim all the same color. Of course, the more expensive one. Engine, I will do the engine, of course. Exhaust, we are going to need some dual exhaust now that we put that rear bumper on there. Oh, God. Come on. Doesn't sound like a V8 to me. It's got the nice belt on it and everything. Why isn't this on some of the other vehicles? You put it on the damn Zion Classic? That is... I mean, I'd have to change the color into something a little better. Oh boy, it's even got the... This is pretty hilarious. So you're building up a, could have an anime collection now with the addition of this. You have a few vehicles, at least a couple, right? Spoiler, I'm not going to do a spoiler, but I want to see now. I'm very curious of what Rockstar is putting into this. That's kind of cool, actually. I don't mind that. That adds traction, huh? I guess. Adding weight to the back. We'll go all the way down. We'll go competition, suspension, transmission, of course, have to do it. Turbo as well. Wheels. Let's do some cheap, affordable ones. People would love putting the Mercedes wheels on the Zion, right? That's always a good one. Funny thing is, they don't even look that bad on there either. I'm gonna do it just for the trolls. They're cheap. They're nice. Windows, we'll do a little tint just to make it look a little better. That's our build right there. That's our build. So now I'm curious. Man, she's low, isn't she? I don't think it even looks that bad. I wasn't all that impressed by the way it looks stock, but you can put enough on here to where it doesn't look terrible. Alright, well, let's get this thing to the track, shall we? Alright guys, I'll tell you what, we are at the track. I'm just going to see really if it stances up, if it does stance up, or slams, as someone wants me to say, because obviously, you know, I can't use any terms that have already been established in the community, not by myself. You know how it is, basically. We're going to see if it slams, and then we're going to go forward, and it looks like it looks like it's going to slam, guys. I'll literally just take a lap or two around, because I know a good chunk of you want to see some Freemode drifting. I know it's not just one or two or three of you. I know a few of you want to, and I haven't really done it in a while, so it does stance up fine without any risk, which means we can bring it into free mode without much, well, we don't really have to worry about it. Alright, there was no spin there from the speed boost. Oh, there was a little bit, but we were in dirt predominantly. Wow, so it doesn't really drift, it does, okay, I don't know how to say it, so it, like, so it drifts, but it's not, there's not a ton of power. I'm gonna see how the single gear is here. So it will certainly single gear short distances, and it has trouble with medium ranges. When you get it into this, like, enough momentum as well, It will slide the rear end around, which is very, very weird. If you're in the right RPMs, it's kind of hard for me to concentrate while I'm talking to you, but I'll try to get a little bit more for slide here on this trap before we go into free mode. If you get it at the right momentum and you hit that slide or that speed boost just right, the car's momentum will break loose the rear wheels, so it will drift a little bit. Now, I'm kind of thinking this will get a grade here, but I'm just going to kind of say it's not going to be a very high grade at all. Like, this is not a competitive car. At least not in my standards. See what I mean there, though? We were able to skitter all around. Now we're all bogged down. It's just weird. It's very, very weird. Well, let's go reverse one time here on the track. Let's just try one time. I don't know. She is just weird, guys. This is one of the weirdest cars that I'm actually going to give a grade to in its handling line. Alright, so this is the biggest thing in free mode is obviously you can't control the time of day it is. You can't control the traffic. You can't control the parked vehicles in some of the parking lots. You can, but then the game just sometimes puts it back in there. It's really, more specifically, if you're drifting by yourself and there's no one to keep those vehicles spawned away. So you really don't see a ton of free mode drifting from me. It's not that I don't do it, it's just that it takes a lot of footage to make any type of videos, any type of substance. So what we're going to do is just go hit up a couple spots in free mode. It is dark out. Alright, what the hell happened to the trunk? I didn't do anything to it. Apparently couldn't handle the off-road. So let's begin by talking about cost. And while we're doing that, we'll kind of analyze further the driftability and the efficiency of the vehicle. But cost, just first off, it's ridiculously high if you're buying it for a drift car, especially the way it performs. But again, we talk about that a little bit later here. The cost was what, 800 and let's just call it 850,000 plus another 200 grand. So let's say it's $1 million car. Is this performing as a $1 million drift car? No. Am I in the right spot to be drifting? No. I don't know, guys. She's just not a very good drifter, all in all. But the cost as a drift car, I mean, it's pitiful. I would not... A 3, maybe? 3, due to the way it is as a drift car. And, I mean, there's not really any cool drift customizations you can get on this car. I mean, you can slam it pretty low, and you can, you know, put some whatever little taste you want here and there on it. But that's about the extent of it. Other than that, it's just like a bunch of luggage and some... I mean, spoilers you're not going to put on it for drifting anyway, so not any cool hoods, not really anything. There's just nothing special about this car when it comes down to it, especially as a drift vehicle. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 on cost for a drift vehicle. Yeah, it's something that maybe some BMW fan there really wants in their garage. On the other hand, that's coming into the next point. Why is it getting such a low point? It's because it's not a great drift car, all right? And that's bringing us into driftability, the second aspect. Yeah, it does drift a little bit. I don't know how really well it handbrake slides. Maybe we can go test that out next. We'll test that out as a final. But you did see that little bit of the casino parking lot. I mean, that might have not been the right area. It might not have been long enough to really engage, and it just felt so sticky. On the track, on the custom track, it felt a bit slipperier, which was kind of one of the perks of being on those tracks as well, is it's not like driving on tar in the game. It's not asphalt. It's these blocks, so the game views it differently. But driftability in this car, we don't ever test it on the handbrake slide. It does have a handbrake that ever lasts, and if you do have the momentum going, you can obviously whip it around a little bit, but it just seems to cut out on you, and then you're just kind of more so driving with a little bit of momentum to the rear end as opposed to actually drifting. So I have to give this thing even worse. I have to give it a straight 2 for the driftability. That brings us into efficiency. Now, efficiency is okay. All right, it stances up just fine. So let's say that cost is aside, you decided to buy it. And you decided to buy it because you knew that it wasn't a great drift car, but it does drift a little bit. And you might be able to have some fun little slides here and there. And you're a big BMW fan, okay? Let's just go down that route and end it there. So you're already in it. Now, efficiency, it shouldn't be hit on those two sections, right? Shouldn't be hit on the things that those are hit on. The other aspect that we test is we have to smash the hell out of this vehicle. Need to damage, kind of see how the vehicle handles its damage, see if it is, if it holds its general efficiency at all for driftability. The little bit that it has, the whopping 2 it scored. All right, we are very well damaged up. It doesn't seem like there's any hop in this vehicle, but again, what does it really matter? It's even if there was a bunch of hop, it's not really, can't really affect it a ton. Seems to be just as stable as it was on the handbrake slide. I mean, that wasn't a very aggressive handbrake slide. We'll say it scores a 7.5 in efficiency, just because there's not really any reason I should hit it anything past the driftability and the cost of it. So it's a 2.5, a 2, and a 7. So 4.5 and 7 and 11.5 is what we're looking at here for the Zion Classic as a drift car. I was hoping quite a bit more out of it. I was hoping for at least a 6 or a 7 as a driftability. Let's keep in mind here, guys, if I was testing this in the first season where it was the single gear drifting, as we showed a little bit on the donut pad and the figure 8, it drifts fine like that, but again, it's only very small circles. It really doesn't want to even do the like the medium. Yeah, I don't know. This is about the extent. This is about as far as it really wants to go. The whole deal is this isn't how we're grading these vehicles in this season. We are only grading on the more competitive techniques. So that is what you guys get. With that said, guys, of course, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the videos if you're sharing the videos. Of course, you may hear a little less enthusiasm in my voice today as I woke up a bit sick. You may be able to hear a little bit of congestion in my voice. And, you know, I just woke up to see a lot of people wanting to see the Zion, which was good. And with that said, of course, as always, I hope y'all stay happy out there. Please stay positive, damn it. Please stay positive out there. And we will definitely speak to you next time.